Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Virche Epic Lycoris, finishing, hopefully, our side stories, our interlude side stories today. I am pretty sure we have done everything here. I think we finished everything on this page. And we finished all the bad endings, and I think, okay, yes. So now we have this one, the first story between mother and daughter. 7 years ago, the heroine arrives at the orphanage, running away from Salome, even when Salome tries to approach her. Salome decides to take action to become friends. Okay, so this is Salome's story. Oh, there's an image in this. Right. Oh, this is the one where there's an image. That's interesting. Because we have 4 side stories left. One's the Drifter, one is I'm pretty sure there is like the thing between friends, and it's like, but it doesn't tell you who's in it. So I'm not sure. I think we still have to do that one. And then there's the Drifter and Spinel. I figured, well, but it makes sense, I guess. Spinel's got some we've never had a CG with Salome, so maybe that's why there's a CG. Anyway, it was 7 years ago today. This is the story of the girl called Death, whom a doll fate took in and protected, and how she came to call me mother. As the children played in the yard, I walked around the orphanage to check for suspicious people or any sign of building damage. And there, not too far behind, a tiny figure followed after me, hiding behind various shelves and columns. At least it seemed she thought she was hidden. Spacey's blonde hair is easy to spot when she's hiding. The question was why she would hide like that. I knew she had a fondness for a Dolphin who possessed a resistance against the curse, sorry. But today she was away from him, sneaking silently in my footsteps. She's like an adorable baby bird. Well, birds do that. They just follow you everywhere. Looks to my right. There's my bird. Who was then like, oh, what? Is it I get attention? You were preening yourself and being cute, but she's the character. The main character is following her mommy around. Like a clingy little bird like you. Oh, you're going to be 11, but you'll always be my baby. Anyway. I bet she doesn't follow you to the bathroom or scream when you're out of her sight, though. I'm just saying. Looks over at the bird, who's just preening himself nonchalantly like, whatever. But if I were to try and call out to her, I knew she'd give a scared little chirp and run away. I wonder if she wants to talk about something. Perhaps it's something that's difficult to discuss. Spacey seemed to be shy around people to begin with. Then I need to be the one to make it easier for her to come talk to me. With that decided, although it was a bit early, I headed toward the kitchen and began making lunch for the children. There we go. I made sure I expressed just how much in a good mood I was, enjoying my cooking. And just as I expected, Spacey slowly came out from under the table where she was hiding. I love how we're just not good at hiding, but we think we're a ninja. She tugged on the sleeve of my dress as I was mixing some eggs. I'll help, and asked to participate in a quiet murmur. Her voice practically vanished in the noise around her, but I managed to pick it up. Oh, are you going to help me cook? Spacey shyly gave me a quick nod. Adolphe helps you a lot, so I want to help you too. Oh, that makes me so happy. In that case, I'd heard she looked after some younger children at her previous orphanage, even cooking at times. Would you mind making omelets with me? I just can't seem to get them right myself. It wasn't exactly a lie, since they always fell apart. Then, okay. Spacey nodded, seemingly happy to be able to help. It's sweet, though, that even if she was able to cook omelets well, that she would still be like, oh, I could never get them right. Do you mind helping me? Like, you know what I mean? That's adorable. Hi, how amazing! I've never seen an omelet cooked so beautifully before. Spacey, you really are good at cooking. Spacey bashfully looked down at the floor in response to my praise. I just wanted to see how she would do and asked her to join just one dish. Asked her to cook just one dish, sorry. But it felt as though she truly did enjoy herself while cooking. If that's the case, I should have just asked her to make everyone else's share, too. I'll ask her to try next time I have a chance. Oh, but maybe no one wants food made by death. All right, then I'll enjoy it. I brought a spoonful to my mouth, and an absolute delicious flavor spread through it. They can eat the burnt shit I give them, and I'll eat this fabulous omelet. It's really delicious. It not only looks good, but the taste is wonderful, too. You could certainly become a chef in the future, Spacey. I guarantee it. It was just so delicious I couldn't help but sing its praises when... This is our CG. Oh, yep, it's a Salome CG, but with baby Spacey. Spacey suddenly began to cry. Oh, my, what's wrong? You were having so much fun cooking just now. Look at that giant motherfucking omelet. That thing is huge. Surprised, I began to pat her gently on the head. Oh, did you want to try the omelet first? I'm sorry. The omelet you made was just so delicious. Thank you. I think I should be the one thanking you for making such a delicious meal for me. Spacey shook her head vigorously from side to side. I'm happy you ate it. Thank you, Mother. Just now, this child, she called me Mother. Oh my, I'm absolutely ecstatic. I still wasn't quite sure why she was crying, but it's because she's happy. You are very welcome, my dear child. I hope you'll make plenty more delicious meals for the mother you love so much, okay? Okay. Seeing Spacey's smile, I was sure that what I told her wasn't a mistake. If that bastard were here right now, he would certainly just tell me I was being weak. Spacey, my new daughter who called me her mother. I will protect you, no matter what might happen in the future. Is that bastard Cyan? Because it's probably Cyan. Okay. All right, so these all other ones. Okay, yeah, we did read all these. And, okay, yeah, Lily among... Okay, so that's... Yeah, so it's this one. The final moments between friends is a one-sided affair. Is the one he holds in his arms a saint or a poor sacrifice? There's an... Oh, this is the other one with an image. Real, I'm surprised. I figured we'd get an image with the drifter or something, but... Because, like, the one it's, we're in this, so you'd think, but, like, who is, interesting. I'm curious, so I have no idea who this is. Dahut. Are we getting a Dahut CG? Then? Welcome to my laboratory, beautiful princess of the Lycorises. Okay, I was not expecting it to be Dahut. I really didn't. With the help of that immortal monster and your foster brother, I can finally destroy that vile death devouring the country. Tricked by my act as the adorable Dahut, I covered the mouth of the poor princess who wandered into this laboratory. As she began to lose consciousness from the chemical-soaked rag, I whispered into her ear. Now, say farewell to your life as a human. From now on, you'll be trapped in an eternal limbo. You will live your life as a test subject and become the sacred foundation of this country's salvation. I put all my heart into the tale of salvation she would bring. That so doesn't, it's like grown up Dahut. It was like 50, it's adorable Dahut to like actual demonic teenage Dahut. It's so like disturbing. It's kind of pretty and the glow in his eyes is great. But there's something about like the shadows under his eyes and the light. It's so, it's disturbing. You're like, no, this isn't the Dahut. Like, Dahut's had some CGs where you're like, oh, you're a madman. But it's been like, but this is like, oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no. There's like a creepy puppetness to you. And listen, all I was saying is I'm like, it depends on the CG. It's going to depend on this CG, which one we show at the end. Because we have this one and we have Salome. But don't test me. Because my brain is like, I'm going to make you all suffer and stare at Capucine. Because, like, he might be unhinged, but he's pretty. And I might just do it. Because, like, Salome's was fine. But this one is slightly disturbing. It grows on you, though, doesn't it? Like, it's good. It's good, but it disturbs me a little. There's something about it. You're like, no, I'm slightly uncomfortable. Whoops. Her body collapsed after being stabbed with a knife, and I just managed to hold her up with my own small body. As I watched her face as she slept, I couldn't help but feel she looked somewhat similar to my mother, whom I'd be resurrecting soon, who's not actually dead, but okay. I never imagined that you, of all people, would carry some of my mother's genes. Not even I could have caught on to that. Your telepathy seems to have anything and everything to it, huh? Ensuring I stopped her bleeding so she didn't accidentally die. After being sure she couldn't respond back, I smiled as if joking with her. You'll now become the materials used for Mother. But don't worry, once you awaken, your mind will have been completely taken over by Mother's. You won't even have enough traces of yourself to feel any fear or despair. It was magnanimous treatment compared to the royal family, who'd been repeatedly killed and then revived. But it's a bit unfortunate to say goodbye to you. We aren't related by blood in a formal way, but looking at our genetics, we are siblings in a sense. Oh, I am older than you, so I guess that makes you my younger sister. I guess it really was worth living for so long, discovering I had a sister at this age. I mean, he's not wrong, because we absorbed some of his mother's DNA, so I mean, I guess in a weird way. Okay. The more I spoke, the more joy I felt in reaching my goal. Well, I'm sure such a coincidence was the worst possible outcome for you. But I'm so very glad I got to meet you. My adorable, adorable little sister, who has the genes that will soon become Mother. And this just gets like some kind of this is some kind of crazy shit. He's like, you're like my sister, and I'm gonna turn you into our mom. Like, there's something unhinged, right? Par for the course in this game. I guess I couldn't exactly criticize Orty for what he had planned. If you weren't born in this twisted country, you might have been able to live a peaceful life. But I have to say I really was fond of you as Dahut. My smaller body managed to hold hers up. And I put her into the capsule to be used for my experiment. I don't know if this'll work as repayment for your sacrifice, but I promise to destroy this gruesome country that hurt and shunned you. Precious people like you, who only wish to be normal, deserve to be reborn into a new Arpachel after I've brought about its destruction. You know, I can't fault you for that logic right there. You're like, I mean, you're doing some crazy shit and I'm not going to be me and I'm not going to be able to appreciate the world you're trying to fix, but like, you are, like, your end goal is not to reap chaos and destroy. You're like, fuck all this evil shit. I want it to be a normal world where people can live normal, happy lives. I can't fault you for that. I mean, your means to the end are a little psychotic, but okay. But I mean, you would certainly be happy in such a place. I mean, I will never be me again because you're using my body to become Salome, but goodbye, Lycoris princess. To me, you aren't death, but a true saint here to save us all. Yeah, these are going to be really motherfucking short, aren't they? So the last part was like an hour and a half. I don't know. I haven't edited it all together. But still, it's at least an hour and 20 some, it's almost an hour and a half. And this part's going to be like 20 minutes. So, like, whatever. Whatever. All right, Lily among the Higanbana. Arpachel is a country possessed by death. The drifter takes cover among the Lycoris to escape those who mean to make him a test subject to break the curse. One day, a curious girl approaches him. Isn't the curious girl his future wife? He's already a grown-ass man. I just read him like normal. In this narrow yet wide land, it was practically a miracle to have met you. Even after the 21 years of your life, even if the world in this land forgets that you existed, I alone will remember, oh, this is obviously after his wife died, how a beautiful person like you smiled so happily in the middle of the Lycoris fields. That sounds like something I would have done. Yeah. I'm surprised you had the gall to show yourself. If only you hadn't told him how long we could actually live. At the very least, my husband Hughes could have departed in peace, or whatever his name was. Right. I sent my friend into despair and let him die in that state, unable to atone to his wife for doing so. Right, okay, so we remember this, but it's a little flashback, so that's fine. I spent my days in this solitary place while being hunted as an experimental subject to break the curse of everyone's short lives. It seemed no one dared to venture forth with the Lycorises in the area. Fortunately for me, food wasn't much of a problem since I was able to cultivate wheat and vegetables from my personal store. Good thing I brought that wheat and vegetables with me. With no one to talk to, I spent my days working to stay self-sufficient. I felt like I'd go crazy. I hated myself so much for not having the courage to die. I want to see my family. Was my wish so foolish that it would force me to suffer this much? If I can't see them anymore, then at the very least, I want a new family to build a home with in this country. I pined over my wish for 16 years until... Here's the thing. So she's probably like 16 then. And he was you're like in your 30. Okay. Did we point this out in the main game? I knew he was older than her, but I don't know if I remember it being this drastic. Like, gross, stop it. Stop with the 20-year-old girls and the 40-year-old men. Stop it. Gross. Stop it. I will bang my brother left, right, and 6 ways to Sunday, but stop it with the 20-year age gaps. That's gross. That is where I draw the line. But my brother, my cousin, whatever. Keep it in the family if you can't keep it in your age range, okay? I realize how fucking ridiculous that is, but still. Anyway. You have such beautiful hair and clothes. Can I have a closer look? My wish would come true in an unexpected form. Does she get a Sprite? It'd be a shame to give her one. I mean, he really does have beautiful hair and everything. I mean, look at him. He's gorgeous. If we weren't gonna hook up with your great-grandson or great-great-grandson or whatever, we could have gone back in time and, like, had a thing. I'm just saying. I stood there surprised by my sudden guest as she climbed out of her boat and bounded over. I had no idea there was someone living over here. What's your name? Why are the clothes you're wearing so different? The girl, brimming with curiosity, was like a cat. No, more like a rabbit hopping around me, continuing her barrage of questions. Also, to be fair, she could literally be like anybody. It's the first person you've seen in a while, and she's a girl, and you're like, all right, I'm in love. Really could have been anyone, to be fair. This isn't good. Answering any of her questions would reveal my true identity. There wasn't a simple response I could give. If I was discovered to be the drifter, I'd be reported and captured. I stood there, silent in my own thoughts, and she must have taken it as my being upset. Oh, that's right. I should introduce myself before asking someone their name, huh? I'm Leo. My parents died right after I was born, so I live in an orphanage a bit far from here. I still think, I don't think they confirmed it, and I don't think they ever said, but I think it might be his friend's daughter, because wasn't Natalia pregnant or whatever? And like then
accused died or whatever, and it's like, I think this is their daughter. I think you were friends with these people, you made him sad, and then you're banging his daughter. Sir, all the problems. You are all the problems, but you're pretty, so it's fine. We'll accept it. Okay, you're like some of the problems. A majority of the Capucine is a majority of the problems. You're some of the problem, though. You are still some problems. Like, you got some red flags in this ship. Okay, I'm just saying. The game never said that it was, but you know what I mean? But you're like, I don't know. I'm a little sus of it. The girl named Leo proudly gave her own name. I suppose I couldn't just ignore her after that. You could just pretend you don't know Arpachelian or whatever. I'm Tamaki. It's a bit of an odd name, but don't worry about it. Okay, nice to meet you, Tamaki. Leo didn't seem to feel threatened by me and vigorously shook my hand up and down. It seemed she didn't know who I was from my name alone. Well, why is a child like you here in the first place? Oh, why is a child like you here in a place like this? And you're saying she's a child. I'm just saying. I'm on an adventure. An adventure? Yeah, I really like exploring places like forests where there's lots of nature. I wanted to go on an adventure to a place no one's been before. That's why I came to the Lycoris island everyone avoids. I see. You must have a strong sense of curiosity. But apart from the Lycoris that blooms here, there's not much else this place has to offer. I mean, that's not true. You're here, sir, and you are beautiful. You should go back home before your friends and guardians start to worry. Aw, after all the effort it took to fight the waves just to get here? I made it all the way. Let me have some tea or something at least. You know, that's rude, girl. But, balls, we gotta give her props for that. You sure are a stubborn girl. She may be even more suspicious of me if I forced her to leave. I think it would be better just to satisfy her request as quickly as I could before sending her back. I invited her into my home. But here's the thing, you snuck away here. How did you get lights? I mean, how did you make any of this? You made a stone bathtub, you chiseled all the, like, I'm just saying, there's also a baby crib I mean, I know it's just because of the background for, like, when, you know, but, like, what was the baby's name? I forget. But you know what I mean, when the baby was born or whatever, but it's still just pretty funny because, hello? Expectations, sir. But you know what I mean? Like, where'd you get the nice furniture? Where'd you get did you make all this? Because Jesus, I'm just saying. You can't even put together nice furniture like that when it comes together with there's directions and you put it like, but you carved this all without directions? You didn't call up Amazon or IKEA or anything to get this? Like, there are metal brackets along the edges and the things of that dresser. I'm not even talking about the handles. I'm talking about in the center. I mean, that's some detailed work, sir. How did you manage? Wow, there's so much stuff here I've never seen before. Is all this yours, Tamaki? Leo's eyes sparkled as she spun around the room. Hey now, calm down. You're just gonna spill tea everywhere if you're that excited. Okay, thanks, Tamaki. I certainly couldn't serve green tea, so I made some tea from leaves used often on the mainland. This teapot you have is really pretty, too. Just who are you, Tamaki? Are you some kind of collector who likes rare things? I mean, the thing is like, okay, he drifted here. I mean, he was on a boat, but didn't the boat sink or something? So, like, what'd you do, go diving and drag that fucking dresser? I'm just, like, curious how you got the furniture. I don't care how you met your wife. Like, whatever. Girls showed up here on the island. Okay, fine. How the fuck did you get the rest of this furniture? Spill out. Well, something like that. I was thankful she mistakenly came to that conclusion on her own, saving me the need to trick her. I decided to work with the story Leo suggested. Oh, it is Lilo. Oh my god, there's an L in there. I can't read the white on the white, guys. I thought her name, I'm like, when I was reading, I'm like, I don't know why I'm like, that doesn't, I was like, didn't seem right. I think we read it right the first time, but I cannot, until just now, I was like, oh my god. It's very hard to see these motherfucking letters on this motherfucking background, and I just guessing at half the words half the time. I'm not great with other people. I just wanted to live a simple life a bit further away from the land. Huh. Don't you ever get lonely? Yeah, because, like, it's really hard. The I and the L are so close together that my brain smooshes them and makes them one letter. Oh, that hurts. Okay. Of course I did. However, I suppressed what I really wanted to say and simply agreed with a nod. A smile blossomed across the girl's face. Then I'll teach you just how fun it is to be around other people, Tamagi. What? She declared with full confidence that she'd release me from my solitude. Oh, yeah, she's gonna. The music is crunchy. It's really hard to tell when there's no music when you're first starting, or it's just really faint, and then all of a sudden it picks up and you're like, it's crunchy. But I'm getting really annoyed. I swear to God, I don't know if it's my capture card or this recording software. I don't fucking know. It works perfectly fine and everything else. I think it's the connection between the capture card and my recording software just don't like each other. But it's probably because my capture card is like 10 fucking years old. But like my ass is like, it still works. We don't need a new one. It's not dead yet. And it's like, but it's such a pain in my motherfucking ass. I'm sure it does it a lot of times when I can't hear it, but I have turned up the background music just a teeny bit. Not necessarily in this one, because this one it's like non-existent or it's like really motherfucking loud. There's no in between. But anyway. I'm telling you that I'll come to your house a lot and have all sorts of fun conversations with you. Oh, but of course I'll keep this place a secret from everyone else. You don't want to be around a bunch of other people, right? Well, that's true. I was dumbfounded at the girl's sudden suggestion. Why? Why would you do that for someone you just met? 'Cause you're beautiful? And you seem nice. Did she actually know who I was and was trying to capture me for a reward? You're a good person, Tamaki. You gave me tea even though you just met me, and you've been so nice. That's why I want to be better friends with you. Yeah, I swear, if this wasn't Eve's great-great-grandma over here, I'd believe she was related to us somehow. Because she's got our energy, you know what I mean? Just like, well, you were nice to me, so like you're obviously a good person, when it's like, not really. I mean, we saw the best in Cyan, and I mean, there's the tiny little speck of decency. I mean, there is something nice in Cyan, don't get me wrong, but like a majority on the outside was assholes, so like, you know, it takes a special kind of person to see past all of that into the inside, you know what I mean? I couldn't believe it. Even after I've met so many people as a merchant, I made assumptions about this girl just because she was from Arpachel. I guess this could be an effect of not interacting with anyone for so long. I was sure my father back home would be sad after he taught me the meaning of fairness as a merchant. What do you think? If you really don't want me to, I won't come. I didn't say that I didn't want that. I suddenly stood up and quietly patted Lilo on the head now that she had finished drinking her tea. Reflected in her eyes, I saw myself looking deeply relieved after interacting with someone for the first time in 16 years. Okay, seriously, it's been 16 years since you've spoken to another human. Seriously? So, like, yeah, of course you'd fall in love with the first thing that rolled up on your island. Could have literally been anyone. It could have been Cyan, and you would have been like, well... I mean, to be fair, if Cyan rolled up on my island, I'd be like, well, all right. I wouldn't even have to think about it. But Tamaki would have thought for a habit. He would have been like, all right. There's nothing but Lycoris here. But if you're all right with that, come by any time. I'll make you some nice tea again. Thank you, Tamaki. No, it was I who should be thanking you. Since that day, Lilo frequented my place to visit me. Are you sure you don't need to be at the orphanage? Yeah, it's boring because I have to study all the time. And the food you make tastes so much better, Tamaki. Is that why you're always here? And the days I spent with the girl that suddenly appeared before me had truly saved me after being starved of the warmth of others. She's 16 years old, I think. I'm sure if I had a child, she'd be around the same age. See, and then, okay, see, I was like, look, we're going to be fine. And even in my brain, if I was like, you were like at least, even if you only rolled off the the thing, if you were only 16 when you landed here, that's still too old. You're still twice her age minimum. But like you were at least 20, so you're at least 36, and this is so wrong. And then you're like, I would have a daughter her age. Yeah, that makes me really want to bang her. Okay, listen, I draw the line at banging your kids, okay? Your brother? Sure. Whatevs. Twincest for the wincest. Whatevs. But like, your daughter? Gross. Gross. Disgusting. Stop it. I was like in my head, like, yeah, well, at least they haven't. And then they brought it up. It's like, at least they haven't mentioned it again. But here we are, rubbing it in your face. It's not even just the age gap. Like, wow, I'm like 30 years older than her. It's not even that. They're like, I could be your dad. That's a kink that we're never, no. Listen, we'll call some of our love interests daddies, but I don't literally mean they're our father. There was one time in one game, but that's a main character's problem, not a me problem. Me, Spacey, is like, well, that's the main character's daddy? He ain't my daddy, but he could be. And you know what I mean? So I will disassociate in that respect. But like, and this is not even a story. We are not Lilo. We were just here watching, and it's still like, no, stop that. Stop it. Gross. And considering the difference in our ages, I started thinking of her as a daughter of mine from this land. And then you're gonna bang her. That makes it even worse. Stop it. You're making it worse. Why do they do this? This is the kink, though. I mean, I get it. That's why they do it. It's kind of like when people get annoyed when it's like, you know, like Adolphe and Spacey being siblings and her always calling him, you're like my big brother. You're like a little sister. And then they're going to romance each other. Like, ew, but you keep calling each other brother and sister. Even if you're not related, it's gross. And it's like, not really for some of us. You know what I mean? Okay. So that's like, I got to assume that's the kink here too. It's not just the age gap. It's the like, he's old enough to be my dad. Yeah. And then so when they're like, she's like my daughter. I'm going to treat her like my daughter. I'm old enough to be her father. Now I want to fuck her. That it's just, that's what gets you guys off. If the age gap, that doesn't bother you. That makes it better. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. Because I don't know, it makes it worse for me. Like, I will be like, I'm just going to pretend the age gap isn't here. And then but then they always like to bring it up and rub it in your face. But then they're bringing up the age gap and then being like the whole, like, I'm like her dad. Okay, stop. Now stop it. Stop it. That's beyond the line. But I'd have to guess it goes in line with the, like, why adopted siblings. Some people are like, ew, but they were like, grew up together. I know they're not related, but they call each other brother and sister, and ew. Like how everybody hates the whole Caleb thing in Love and Deep Space, and they had to change it for the Western audience and be like, childhood friend, and it's like, he's your brother. Shut up. Call him your damn brother. Because for Western audiences, they were creeped out by the fact that they were adopted. They're not related at all. But him calling her his sister and her calling him brother and everything creeped out Western audiences, where some of us are like, no, but keep it going. Also, adopted siblings is different. Maybe, I mean, again, past Spacey was like, ew, cousins. And now I'm like, whatever, fuck my brother. We know what happened. We know. But like, I just, they're not related, but just her calling him brother grossed people out, and they cannot separate, and they freak out about it, and it's like, yeah, but it's a weird trope, it's a kink, it's like a weird thing, and like, okay, you don't have to get it. But I guess it's the same thing here, where like bringing up, oh, they age different, he's old enough to be your daddy. This just enhances, like, if you really like age differences, it enhances it for you. It's like flavor. It's like that little extra bit of MSG making shit good for you. You know what I mean? Is that what it is? You know? Because like for me, it's like, oh, keep calling me sister. Yeah. So, oh, but I'm still like, oh, stop it. Stop talking that she's young enough to be your daughter. That's so gross. It's the one thing I can't disassociate with. Everything else I can be like, not my thing, but like, whatever, it's fantasy. But this is one of those, like, I can't do it. There's a wall. And I'm like, I know it's fantasy, but my brain is like, no. Ew. I love you, Tamaki. Huh? I saw Lilo in front of me, her cheeks as red as the setting sun. I mean, fair enough for her. He's beautiful and she sees him all the time and like she at least sees other people. He's got nothing else, so like if I wasn't mistaken, just now she told me she loved me as a man, not as her daddy. Maybe she wants you to be her daddy, but you know. Lilo, I'm sure you're mistaken somehow. I'm sure you're just mixing up your feelings for men with how you feel I'm a fatherly figure to you. See, but, and then she's gonna be like, no, I'm in love with you. And he's gonna be like, all right, gross. Sir, stop it. Although it wasn't rare for men my age back home to wed girls that were her age. You're trying to like cover up the weirdness with like, but it's normal. I mean, it was normal back in ye olde days. Doesn't make it not gross still. Okay, listen. You know? Again, like a 20-year age gap is different when you're 40 and 60, but when you're like 16 and almost 40, and 20 and 40, that's no. 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 I'm sorry. Imagine someone 20 years younger than you. You're going to be like, yeah, they're hot. No. I mean, we play Atome games where we're a teenage girl romancing teenage boys. And I realize if you step back and you're like, I'm old as fuck being like, yeah, this guy's hot. Okay, well, the character is 16. They're not they're characters. I'm not really like 16. That's gross. I will age myself down in my head and be like, we're all in college. That's how I get past it. You know what I mean? But like, I didn't see, but I can separate certain things, but like, not when you keep bringing up the father thing. If they just said, we have a really big age gap. All right, let it go. But you keep bringing up the father thing. Like, again, people don't live that long in this world. So 16, it's like, good God, girl, why don't you have 2 kids already? You're going to die tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So that I get. But like, don't keep bringing up that you're her father. Or a father figure. That's weird. But I guess... Okay, you know what, to be fair? I'm just trying very hard to work myself around this. To be fair, her age, she's middle-aged. She's about ready to die. She's about 70 in Arpachelian years because this was when they only lived to be like 18, right? Because this is before Anko went back in time and they moved to 23. So she is about ready to die. So she's like 80. So bitch is old. Fair enough. And it's ye olde times. So like girls got married younger because you didn't live as long anyway. So okay. And in where he came from, and even back in the day all around the world, was like older men marrying younger women. That was kind of normal. So this isn't... It's weird to us now in our modern sensibilities, but really wasn't weird for the time period. And also isn't really weird her falling in love with him because she's only got a couple years left. So, you know, fair enough. The customs and culture, and even lifespans were different between my home and Arpachel. Yeah, well, you've got a long life ahead of you and she's about ready to drop dead. So technically, she's way older than you, if you think about it. Choosing me would only bring Lilo's sorrow. Come, I'll pretend I didn't hear that just now, so why don't you go home and sleep on it? Even if you're mistaken in how you feel, I'm still happy as a friend that you said you like me. It's not a mistake. Tamaki, you idiot! Lilo? Although, typical man being like, you don't understand your own feelings, you're just a girl. I mean, I get it for him. She's 16. So, you know. But also, again, she's got 2 years left, so she's like 80. Pretty sure she knows herself by now, you know? You had to grow up a lot faster in Arpachel these days. I chased after her as she ran off crying, and we reached the shore where her boat rested. Lilo was angry as she boarded the boat to return to the mainland, but spotting the presence of another boat approaching, she stopped. Soon came the sound of heavy footsteps. They belong to the armor-clad royal guard disembarking their boat. You girl!
What?
One of the soldiers gave Lilo an intimidating glare. Are you a resident of this island?
No, I just come here on occasion to explore.
Explore? In that case, have you seen the man with black hair pictured on this wanted poster? His name is Tamaki. Before the men of the Royal Guard looked around, I hid in the shadows of some nearby boulders. Their search finally made it all the way out here. It had been 16 years. I couldn't believe how tenacious they were. Look at his evil little grin. It's so sexy, sir. I guess they really wanted me as their experimentation subject.
Is he a bad person?
He's the criminal that sent the country into chaos. He must be arrested and dealt proper punishment. No, it was over. To Lilo, I was just some stranger who never spoke about himself. I was sure she believed the words of this man who served the country. I don't think I can escape, and this is it for me. I surrendered to the idea of being caught, but at the very least, I just hope this girl didn't have to suffer, not knowing anything about what was going on.
I've never seen him,
she replied, sounding uninterested. Lila looked away from the royal guard, hiding my existence. Is that the truth? If you're hiding him, you won't be let off easy. Her composure didn't change, even with a blade drawn at her.
I told you I've never seen him before. I've walked from one end of this island to the other. And there's not a single person here. There's nothing but a bunch of Lycoris noirs. You can look around if you think I'm lying, but don't complain if you accidentally step on a Lycoris and die on the spot.
They must have decided this place really wasn't fit for anyone to live in. Seemingly convinced, the royal guard got back on their boat and left for the mainland. It took them 16 years to try looking here. That's all I'm saying. They're really lame. Leaving the only people behind me speechless leaving the only people behind, me speechless behind the boulder. And
that was so scary.
She collapsed to the ground and sat there without any strength. Lilo. I rushed to her as she started crying and gently embraced her shoulders.
Tamaki, I was so worried about them finding out I was lying.
As she bawled aloud, there was no trace of the calmness she showed in the face of the royal guard. Lilo, why? You just heard those soldiers say I was a bad person, right?
No, you're not a bad person. The one who's bad is me.
Huh?
Actually, I realized a while ago you were the drifter who came from an outside land. I learned about what the drifter looked like from my lessons at the orphanage.
I see.
But I didn't want you to know I realized who you were because you might hide yourself away somewhere. I really hated the idea of never seeing you again. So I pretended not to know as I spent time with you. I'm sorry I hid that from you.
Oh, no. I'm falling in love with this girl. So funny. He doesn't say that, but I'm just saying. This little girl who protected me even with the blade drawn at her. Just earlier I saw her as something of a daughter. Earlier she was like my daughter, and now I'm like, you know what? Maybe I want to bang her. Well, oh. Lilo. But now, I found her so captivating I wanted to embrace her.
Tamaki?
Thank you, Lilo. Compared to being captured, I hate more the idea of never being able to see you again. I can't promise that I can express my feelings right away. But can I ask you to give me a little time to come to see you as a woman?
Sure.
2 days later, we embraced each other as if to exchange our vows on the empty shore. I was the drifter, fated to live out my long life. She was a resident of the land of death, fated to live her own short life. Even if we were united together, our separation would be imminent. But even so, I find myself wishing to live with you. Noel, that was the baby's name. And have a family with you. And here's the baby. And the baby crying. The baby crying at the end is actually kind of cute. Oh, no, it's still going.
I've decided I'll name you Lilo.
I told you! I don't think they confirmed it in the first one, but they're confirming it now. It's Natalia and Hughes' daughter. I fucking told you. Shit. I don't think they confirmed it in the first one. It's like a 16-year-old girl, and it's like, wait. You disappeared 16 years later. This girl shows up. She happens to be 16, and your friends were pregnant. Sorry. I don't know if they... Did we see this at the end of the original... I don't remember if we did, but... Anyway.
You're proof that the man who died in despair once lived in this world. I decided I was the victim, thinking I had been betrayed, and took my anger out on a friend who cared for me. I hope instead that you'll find a kind soul who cares about others. And she did, the very man that cared.
Aww. It's a little fucked up, but at the same time, kind of cute, I guess. All right. The story of a mercenary. Our last one. A young girl is born outside the country and lives a harsh life from birth. Despite bloodshed and heartbreaking loss, she remains resolute. After years of wandering, she finally arrives at a place where she discovers her younger siblings. Well, sibling. Well, I guess siblings because Anko counts, but Anko is a Dolphin, so they're basically the same person. Ooh, Spinel's all pink. She's like neon pink. I like it.
I like the color blue. The vast open ocean, the sky that shines down on every land. I'm so incredibly envious of this color that symbolizes freedom. That's why I hope to give even a fragment of this joy to the children left in the world before I die.
That explains the blue stone, too. 23 years ago.
This windowless prison was my entire world.
Oh, look at this sad little puppet backdrop.
A heavy odor hung in the air,
like little raggedy dolls.
And it was me and a boy and a girl younger than myself, both with eyes devoid of life. Beyond the iron bars in front of us were disgusting adults peering in at us, looking us over as if we were goods for trade.
I think you are, because your parents kept having babies to sell, so.
I was never taught this, but I came to learn quickly after I was locked up in here that this was some kind of store that sold humans, and that we were goods to be sold. The bars were opened, and the wrist of the child sleeping closest to them was grabbed by a man in a white coat. That child was a boy who was put into the cell after me, a child that seemed pretty small for his age. He was really fond of me for some reason, so I played with him and took care of him. At some point, I felt a connection with him. I desperately tried to stop the man in the coat, begging him not to take the boy away. I was kicked away, and as I lay there unconscious, he was taken. Next, the last girl who was put into the cell was picked up by a big round man. Ew. She was annoying since she cried all the time, but she smiled when I patted her on the head, and I found myself attached to her. I jumped on the man, but after being hit in the face and getting knocked unconscious again, I woke up to find she was gone too. I waited and waited, but they wouldn't come back. The other two were gone. A new man spoke in a low murmur.
The poor thing, she doesn't even understand her own family was just sold off.
I see. So the two children who were taken away were my little brother and sister, connected to me by blood. It seemed like I was the older sister who had to protect them. I assumed that the man and woman who came to feed us were our parents. They were laughing and talking about how they still had others to sell. Judging by the amount of food, it looked like there were other siblings I still hadn't met.
Oh, so maybe the siblings they're talking about are these two. So it's like she finds them. And this isn't after she came. This is before she came to Arpachel. Although they're reusing the prison background from Arpachel. So I'm just saying. I wouldn't expect them to draw a new one.
Half a year later, a brother who always had his head hung down and a little sister who had no idea what was going on were put into the cell. Everyone seemed to call them twins, They cried and laughed almost always at the same time. They even seemed to take a liking to me at the same time since I looked after them. But at this rate I knew they would just be taken away by the strange men. I'm the eldest, their oldest sister. I have to make sure I protect my brother and sister this time. And so, the next time a customer came, I took the two of them and escaped from the cell. Under the dark sky, after searching for a place to hide, I came across a small cave within a forest. While we were running deeper inside to make sure the grown-ups couldn't find us, the side of the cave collapsed a bit, causing a shining object to fall from it. I could see the strange, beautiful color even in the dark. Wondering what the object could be, forgetting that we were on the run, the twins and I were fixated on the object. But it was far too easy for adults to find some runaway children if they really tried. We were taken back to the cell and I was giving a beating for leading our escape. Apparently part of the punishment was for me to be sold off to a disgusting man. I didn't want to be sold off, but it was much better than my brother or sister being chosen. Before I was sent off, I split the stone we found that day. And after keeping a piece for myself, gave the rest to the twins.
I was wondering when she found the stone, I'm like, don't try to tell me this is Adolphe and then he had a twin sister that we don't know about. So now you're trying to tell me Adolphe had a twin sister? Because she gave the stone, because Adolphe had the stone and it was from Spinel. We know now, you know?
Listen, this stone is a charm that'll protect you both and keep you safe. I'm going to be sold off now, but even if we're separated, this stone will keep us connected. When you two meet your own younger brothers and sisters, split this stone with them to help protect them.
Oh, okay. So so maybe these twin Adolphe got it from who got it from who got okay, I got it.
Even defenseless kids can offer that much. Leaving my siblings who cried for me not to go, I was taken by the man. I was sure those disgusting parents of mine would give birth to new siblings as more goods to sell. My one regret was that I couldn't protect my brothers and sisters who'd be born in the future. I was sold off to be the man's plaything. Right when we reached his mansion, he tried to have his way with me.
This is a really depressing one to be the last one to end the entire game, is all I'm saying.
My body moved on instinct, killing the man and fleeing from the mansion.
All right, well, this makes it better.
I continued to run and eventually stowed away in a boat that was leaving for another country. In there, for the first time ever, I saw the bright sky. I had no idea the world outside that horrible cell could be so beautiful. Tears ran down my face from the amazing sight, but also from the utter regret that I wasn't able to bring my siblings with me. The country the boat traveled to was one of freezing cold. I wanted to search for my siblings and rescue them as soon as possible, but I had no idea what country I was born in or what route I took to get here. My first priority was to survive. I lived for a few years in a remote village, constantly battered by conflict, where I defeated thieves and took their possessions. I've done anything I had to in order to survive. I've stolen and killed. I don't even remember how many I've killed with the stolen sword. Fortunately, I seemed to be pretty tough and continued growing, continuously building my skills as a killer. And once I became an adult, I joined a group of mercenaries, making money as I traveled across various war zones. War zone, battlefields where wars and other conflicts are waged.
My phone is ringing and I can't lean over to turn it off because it's been too long, and if I adjust the bird, he's going to. So hopefully you can't hear it. I don't think you can, but anyway.
It seemed like being a mercenary suited me pretty well.
There it goes.
I continued traveling from land to land, making money to find my brothers and sisters. I killed and made money,
I made money and killed. Sorry, bird. I'm just trying so I don't have to get up in the middle of this to give him a potty break. The sky and the twinkling stars were what kept me sane. I traveled nearby to the west and far to the east, and continued to search for my brothers and sisters using only our stones as clues. That's depressing little background thing there. However, all the siblings I found were either corpses or already in their graves. That is so fucking depressing and sad because she had older siblings, well, younger ones just she gave the stones to, but like the fact that like these children were being sold off to like people who couldn't have kids were like, cool, I bought a baby and now it's like you were literally bought to be used, abused, and destroyed and thrown away like like that's even worse. First of all, it was worse thinking Adolphe's parents were selling his siblings. But like you could have argued like, okay, yeah, you were like having a lot of kids and like maybe there's people who couldn't have kids and they were like, cool, I'll buy a baby because I can't have kids, so I want a baby. And then those people actually cared about those children, but you know, obviously not. After having lost what I was searching for, even I couldn't help but lose all hope when... Hey, Spinell! You and I are both adults now, right? If we make it through the next battlefield, quit being a mercenary with me and be my wife. I can't promise I'll make you happy, but we'll live the kind of life where we can laugh like fools together. I fought alongside this man plenty of times in battle. He spoke to me in a drunken stupor with no finesse at all. I had no interest in marriage, but I guess a life with a guy wouldn't be so bad. I agreed on the spot, probably because I'd been drinking some as well. Is this the guy that she kind of had a thing for? That looks like Capucine? But ultimately that man... We know this. I later met him on the battlefield and killed him. My wounds healed when I was about 29. I realized I only had one last clue as to the whereabouts of any of my siblings. I found and interrogated those disgusting parents of mine before killing them. Good for her! We didn't get that in her story. Yeah, nice. Because you don't find out until the very end, really, that she's Adolphe's older sister. My last little brother was thrown into some deadly sea nearby to be drowned. All I had left now was my sword, stained with alcohol and blood. That day I drank all I could to drown my sorrows. And in an attempt to at least pay respects to my siblings and the man I killed, I left for the ocean on a small boat I found. What have I been living my entire life for? I wondered how, if I just let myself be swallowed by the sea and died like my brother, it would all be so much easier. As I sat there and thought, something floated toward me on the waves. It was a black Lycoris, a mysterious flower rumored to only bloom in the land touched by death. What's this doing here? Fell into the water. It was an utterly ridiculous miracle. I leaned over to pick up the black Lycoris, but fell into the sea in my drunken stupor, and on the shore I ended up on. I met a man who could have been one of my brothers, as he had pieces of the stone. I couldn't believe it, but if I had found him, I had to protect him. No, I wanted to protect him. I'm Spinell. I'm a wanderer making my way through the countries as a mercenary. Or continents, sorry. You can call me Nell if you want. This time, my family, my brother, as the strongest sibling, their older sister. I considered the possibility that they were just from a similar looking stone, but its clarity in the way it shone was the same. But in order to find out how he got his hands on that stone... Well then, give me those blue earrings and that'll cover my fee. When I chose that as my reward, the man called Anko, who was supposedly my brother, was clearly shaken by the proposal. Although I heard later he was hesitant to hand it off for another reason. Back then I was mistaken, thinking that he treasured it as a memento of his siblings. he treasures it as a memento of me. Like, it's kind of cute though, because Adolphe had the stone that he got from Spinel. Well, maybe not Spinel, but like one of, like from another sibling that she gave the stone to or whatever, but somehow from his family. Turned it into a necklace for me, Spacey, and earrings for himself. And then Anko took and made his earrings off of the necklace that he took from me. So it's like, that's why it was like because he took it from me, but still it does trace all the way back. I mean,
I've never failed a request, not even once. I'll protect that treasure till the end, no matter what comes at me. I'll risk my only life if it's for that. I promised to protect Unco and the girl called Spacey, who was precious to him. But to my surprise,
what the hell's going on here? Are you also working with this guy?
in the sense that I'm here to protect Spacey, I would say so. From what I can see, you're doing the same, right?
What? And do you always look at strangers with that expression?
I had one more brother I didn't know about. The earrings this man had on were without a doubt from the same stone, but those parents of ours said their last child was a single boy they threw into the sea. Why are there two of them? I couldn't help but think over this contradiction. That night I captured the man called Capucine, and although I felt less disturbed by it, the question still remained. I decided to look at the situation while being sure to keep a cool head.
Does she figure it out? She's like, time travel.
It seemed like this was a contradiction built off the strange technology in this country. Chaos sprouted from the crossing paths of the Drifter, the embodiment of the Lycoris, and the immortal human. Mortal man, sorry. Everyone fought to protect Spacey, but as she lay asleep and injured, Adolphe,
Yeah? You called Spacey. It's been hundreds of years since you've called me by that name. Oh, okay. No, that was. I thought Adolphe was actually there.
Uncle told the entire truth, revealing who he really was.
Oh, okay. All right.
I wasn't mistaken. Uncle and Adolphe. They're both my little brothers who were permitted to live in this world. I have to protect them.
They're basically this. I mean, because now she figured out that the same person, but
I couldn't possibly announce I was their sister after never coming to them for so long. In that case, Spacey, Unco. I swore I'd protect them, even if I lost my life after doing everything I could to survive.
which she did, which is so sad.
I opened my eyes and found myself returning from my memories back to reality. I guess that was my life flashing before my eyes, huh? A pile of debris sat on top of my stomach, which was already torn open, making it hurt like crazy. At this rate, I'll die of blood loss or just be crushed by the rubble in a few hours. Well, that's fine. If I died after protecting my brother and the girl who could probably be his future wife, that wouldn't be a bad way to go. But one regret I have is not being able to be by his side until Spacey was saved. Seemed like the woman named Spinel was finally going to be separated from her brothers and sisters forever now.
No, you'll be reunited with them all, because all of them except for Adolphe are basically dead.
My eyelids were heavy. Turned out the blood loss won after all, and I wouldn't live long enough to be crushed to death. You guys take care of yourselves. Unco, Adolphe. Your big sis will be praying you two and the girl will survive.
Okay, how depressing. We have to, like... Who's saying, "Rah!" I don't know, somebody's screaming. Somebody's getting the thing off of us. I heard an annoying scream. I could feel the anger inside me rising as it interrupted my death, and I opened my eyes to find... damn it, damn it, damn it! No, it's Capucine. Is Capucine trying to save her? Stop it. You did not need... And you're giving us the beautiful music in the background, and you're giving Capucine a redemption arc right now. Stop it. No, you're not. Oh my god. What in blazes am I doing? Coming down to a place like this just to die in vain? And on top of that, I'm not here for my precious bride, but for this barbarian of a woman. The man most afraid of death and pain in this entire country was desperately shifting the fallen rubble from my body. Hey, get up! I know more than anyone that you will die from something like this. I'll clear the rubble off you right now. Why do I want to cry? Why do I think this is the sweetest freaking thing? This psychopath is, like, here to save her. Because, I mean, we know she, like, sacrifices herself anyway, but still, it's so adorable. Capucine? What are you doing here? In response to my question, the man shouted with a tearful face. Shut up! I wanted to wait on the surface too, but... His hands shook as they moved more rubble off of me. You were the first. Whatever the reason may be, you were the first to say you preferred me over Cyan. The reason he came to help me seemed so insignificant. I've been waiting for someone to say those words for decades. Because she's in love with you? You're so adorable. I can't believe I'm saying that about Capucine, but it's kind of adorable. I couldn't possibly make the same decision to run away after this turn of events. What are you... Closing up my wounds with the medical tools beside him, Capucine continued talking at a hurried pace. Even after I help you, your wounds are still fatal. And you're still going to die. However, I can at least help you enough so that you can try and fight. I couldn't believe it. If you're a mercenary, then fulfill your contract. And don't disappoint me and die in this pathetic state. And here I was, satisfied in giving myself up to death. Go. Run, Spinel. This villain was just crazy. Yeah, he is, but, like, why is it adorable and sweet? But having someone encourage you to fight on didn't feel too bad. I ran off just as he commanded. I didn't care if the stitches and bandages on my stomach came off and my guts spilled right out of me. Gross. I just need time to protect my brother and those he cares about. Run, Spinel. Before your duty as a mercenary, you need to be their sister. Sorry, Bird. I know it's getting dark. Okay, well, this part's going to be like over an hour because I'm not sure. I had to stop because the music was janky. I have no idea. It's like 42 minutes now. I have no idea what we did before this, so. I'm sorry, Spacey. But still, I want you to live. Oh. You sure are an idiot. You don't sound convincing at all with that look on your face. Hey, we get the Spinel CG again. Good. You worked real hard all this time. You can just leave everything to your big sis now. Spinel, she's actually Adolphe and Uncle's older sister who traveled the world in search of her siblings. We know this. But, you know, again, every time they do red text, it's all white afterward, and it's so much easier to read. I made it this time. You know, her little after-story thing makes it, like, her death so much better. I mean, it still sucks that she died, but it's still, like, you know. The mutated being was vanquished, and the throne of Arpachel was dissolved after the defeat of the royal family. I turned away from the floor, falling away from me, and breathed a deep sigh. I somehow escaped death again, collapsing down into the disgusting remains of the mutant. That said, there was nothing connecting my body below my waist, so I was sure I was going to die this time. You idiot! You just had to be a hero in the end, didn't you? And Capucine coming to her again. I gotta turn lights on and give the bird a break. He's getting very fidgety and it's very dark. Hold on. But I love that Capucine's fucking showing up again as she's about to die again. Like, this is... Stop it. Why is Capucine getting a redemption? This is cute as shit. I want to be like, how do you not love Capucine now? But like, okay, you can't. But like, how do you not just like him a little bit? You're like, you know what? Like, actually, bravo on redeeming him just a tiny bit. Oh my god, I can't believe this.
Hey, so you're alive too, huh?
I'll be dying soon, though. The way out's closed off already.
I glanced up at the face of the man, peering at me as I came to understand his fate.
They did never find him. They never found him, so... You really are pitiable. You had no reason to go as far as you did. This is Arpachel, the land touched by death. A normal human like you has nothing to do with this place whatsoever.
Yeah, but for some reason I feel at ease. I think I went through what I did in life, even murdering the man I loved, just to experience this moment. The ceiling of the castle began to collapse as if signaling how my own life was flickering out of existence. However, Capucine didn't try to run away. Like,
If so, I suppose having to cross paths with you was an end to my own luck. I was supposed to have crushed Cyan Brophies and taken over the responsibility for this country's technology. But here I am about to be crushed in rubble with this barbarian of a woman whose every action is the epitome of insanity. Yeah, but you kind of dig her. You're kind of into her. I'm not, you know what, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you have the prissy little science nerd, and then you have the tough as nails chick who could kick his ass and snap him like a twig. I ship it, I'm here for it.
His choice of words was colored with hatred, yet in contrast, his tone of voice was so calm. Yeah, I really do think you're much better than Cyan.
Oh! You know what? You're not right. You're absolutely wrong. But you know what? I'll give you credit for it. It's adorable.
So even though I don't believe in Hades, after we spend some centuries atoning for our sins there, in my next life, I wouldn't mind being acquaintances with you.
The least you could do is consider us friends by then. Oh, stop it! Why is this so adorable? What is this doing?
Exasperated, Capucine decided to face his fate, sitting down on the ground. It seemed he intended on proudly facing his own death here, next to this crude woman he claimed to hate. I didn't expect this. I've killed so many people in the name of war, so I thought I'd spend my last pathetic moments all on my own. But here I am, being offered understanding by another heinous criminal. She ain't wrong. Heinous criminal. The ceiling was collapsing. My own corpse would be caught in the mass of flesh, disappearing without a trace. But I'm not afraid. With this act of destruction, a bright future awaited my brothers. The ceiling above me opened up to show the night sky full of stars. Its beauty was burned into my eyes so brightly that it stung. Wow, sure is pretty. The sky of the world where my family will live on.
Okay, and now we know what happened to Capucine.
A shooting star streaked across the sky.
Is it still go? Oh my god, it's still fucking going! You were smiling even in your final moments. It's truly baffling. I've never seen a woman as carefree as you. But I suppose that's why, in my own cowardly way, I hope we will meet again after death. Okay, I'm okay with it going if we're gonna have a Capucine moment that's gonna touch my heart a little. What the actual fuck?
I've met many people and parted ways with just as many. Okay, this is one of those times, like, okay. One of those times where it's like, oh, it's an end. Oh, it's still going. Oh, that's an end. Oh, it's still going. Okay, seriously, wrap it up, though. Don't do this like 14 ends. Stop it. Stop it. It's good, but you're dragging it on now, game. You're crossing a line. We're pushing a limit.
I'm going to need you to stop doing this, like, end after end after end.
And what I grasped hold of at the end of it all was the glittering of beautiful stars. The world keeps turning. The stars continue moving. No matter how many centuries pass. The brilliant journey you all travel will never fade. Move forward. Forward on your journey through life. I was so proud of my brothers for protecting the woman they loved.
And now we're going to be a happy throuple. And even though two of the people are the same person, so it's like a normal couple, but also a throuple. It's weird.
Even though this worthless sister of yours wasn't there with you at this pivotal moment in your lives, take care of yourselves. You three will be able to keep walking forward just fine.
See, and then that's a pretty end. And if they bring it back around again, I'm going to fucking throw hands. Because they had a pretty end, and then they threw in Capucine, and you're like, okay, all right, that's cute. And then they did it, okay. But it's like, seriously, simmer down.
That is everything.
That is literally everything. I'm looking for anything unread. We read fucking everything. Yeah, everything. Everything. All right. Is there a end? Game ends? There's no game ends CG. There's no like, hey, thanks for completing everything. That's a shame. That's a bummer. I'm just saying that there's no game end CG. You know what I mean? These are the ones that we got in this part. So like, oh, our little Salome one, which is kind of pretty. Although she's got a little shocked Pikachu face, so it, but I get it, right? Yeah, there's Hugo again. And then Dahut. Actually, this one does keep growing on you more and more, but it's disturbing, and Dahut doesn't, it's like, it's a good CG, but it almost feels like it doesn't belong in the game, and Dahut kind of looks like a creepy puppet, but then that kind of works, but then it's also like, but it's not Dahut, but it's so good, but it's like very confusing. It confuses me. Okay. It really does. This was our game, though, guys. I'm just kind of disappointed we didn't get, like, a full end CG of it. I mean, technically, the CG we used in the last part was, like, everybody was there, but, like, that doesn't really count, and usually you get a, like, yay, game clear, where you do everything. So, like, if you were gonna make me play the entire fucking first game 13 times over, you could have at least given me a good, like, thanks for repeating the whole first game CG. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave you with this one, though, because I'm sorry. Capucine, I can't believe he had a redemption arc at the end. And I'm not gonna lie, it touched my little cold, dead heart. And I'm very confused. But also, look at this man. He's, like, unhinged, but he's pretty. And you can't deny it. You can't deny, as much as you want to punt him into the sun, that they redeem. Okay, he's not really redeemed, okay? Because, like, but to be fair, I can't believe we're going to say this, but we did it before. What he did, all the thing. Okay, he was still thinking those creepy, inappropriate things about Nadia's genes. Not necessarily her genes. But in the ending that this kind of spun off of with Spinel, that was an Onco story. He never got the chance to do any of that creepy stuff. He's still just, like, used children for his research purposes and was making puppets out of them, which is kind of fucked up. I swear to fucking God. I was moving my footstool out of the way, and it tangled up on my headset, and it unplugged my fucking microphone cord. Oh, dear God, guys. The last part was in 3 pieces, and this part has been in, like, 3 pieces, and it's like, I recorded the last part and this part in the same day, and this is just not my day. But I'm trying to get ahead because I can't record in I only have a couple days to, like, to make sure that I have enough for the week. To be a week ahead. Because, like, and today was not a good day at work either. I was like, it's Friday, I don't give a fuck. And everybody was, like, pushing stuff to the last minute, and I wanted to log off early. It's daylight savings weekend. I'm going to lose an hour of my weekend, and they made me work till 4:30. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And every part I have recorded today has taken, like, 32 bazillion hours, and then there's bits and pieces, and there's parts here and there, and I gotta edit 700. I don't even know what's happening. Today's my God. Anyway,
Capucine was destroying children. I think it was at that point, like, whatever. He was horribly ruining children. But he didn't touch Nadia in this one. So we can be like, okay, he's still horrible. But everybody else has done some horrible shit too. And the one thing that made us want to punt him into the sun, even though we know he did it in the other routes, and whatever, he hasn't done it in this. And then he kind of redeemed himself. So I'm going to give him I'm going to give him a star. Just one. If the music is crunchy. Okay, no, it's not. I was like, if the music is crunchy, I don't even give a fuck. You're listening to the end thing with crunchy music, bitches, because I can't anymore. I cannot do another fucking part. Like, this part will be like 16 parts edited together. But I can't believe they gave Capucine a little redemption arc, and I'm not mad about it. I think it's kind of funny, and but anyway, he's beautiful, so you get to stare at him. We do have one more part left. This is all of the game, but we will do our voice acting and everything like that and turn it on and check shit out in the next part. So we will have that. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up. Seriously, I need it because today has been hell. So huge, lots of thumbs up, okay, for the trauma that I have wrought upon myself and you guys probably with this part. And subscribe to see more.